Sideline Sports Network. Um, Not gonna lie to you, I've been extremely busy. Almost forgot what time it was. Realized that it was after 7:30, and had to reschedule my show for 8 to 9 instead of 7:30 to 8:30. So my apologies if you were waiting on me. But anyways, I'm here now. I've got some pretty cool stuff that's going to be on the show tonight. I've got a guest that's backstage as we're speaking that's going to shed some light on some really cool things that he's doing for um, at least one of our Florida State athletes at the moment. I'm sure there will be way more to come. But before we get into all of that, as always, this is brought to you by Game Day Vodka. Game Day Vodka is an American made in American distilled in American bottled in American sold vodka. Um, it's 6 times distilled, like I said. It makes it extremely smooth. The person that is responsible for Belvedere vodka is also responsible for Game Day vodka. So if you haven't given them a shot yet or tried it out, go to GameDayVodka.com. Order your favorite team's colors, which should be Florida State if you're listening to me. And as long as you're 21 years of age or older, you can get it off the website. And if you don't like ordering stuff offline, you can go to ABC Wine and Spirits or your local Publix wine and spirits store. You can find Game Day Vodka there. But moving on past that, we appreciate the partnership with Game Day as always. Obviously, tonight I'm going to be talking about all of the new Florida State athletes that have been coming in for the 2023 class, to the transfers, just all in all together, moving people around on the offense, moving people around on the defense. So it's going to cause a lot of new plays. I think the playbook is going to open up substantially. I think that we're going to have multiple new formations that we're not used to seeing. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit. I'm going to talk a little bit about what Florida State's going to be able to pull off and what Florida State should be able to do in this upcoming season with this cake of a home schedule. I think it's pretty cake, so I think we're going to pull it off. What's up, Pope 863 Seminole TV? If you can, man, if you get a shot, jump on here. I'll send you the link. Just let me know you want it, and you can come on for a little while and chop it up with me. We talk about what this Florida State team is going to look like. But before we get to that, I'm going to add a gentleman named Joe Johnson, and I'm going to let Joe tell you about what he does, and then we're going to share on the screen what he does after he gives you the rundown of what he's doing and why his business is making such a difference for our number one running back, Trey Benson. So be sure that you pay attention to this. Make sure that you go give him a quick follow after he tells you where you can follow him. Make sure that you go support the business because it helps support Trey Benson as well. So without making y'all wait any longer, I'm going to go ahead and bring Joe on now. Joe, how's it going, man?
What's up, dude? Appreciate you having me on.
Oh, absolutely. I've honestly been wanting to have you on since I seen the start of all this. Because I think I'm a '90s kid, so I'm geeked over anything to do with cards.
Yeah,
So
I love cars, man. I designed for a company last year for a year, and at the end of the year, they were like, "Hey, we're gonna go a different way." And so I was like, well, "What do I do in 2023?" And the NIL world was kicking off, and I was like, "I'm gonna make trading cards." And so started with Trey Benson. The cards have done pretty well. It's a cool way to support FSU athletes. Obviously, the goal is to get it bigger. I want to branch out and across different collegiate athletics across the country. But I wanted to start home. Was born in Tallahassee, grew up in churches on Saturday in the fall, and my granddad and my dad, we were over at their house watching every game. Charlie Ward, Warwick Dunn, Pooh Bear Williams. Back in the day, man, the old school. You were beat before you walked into Doak Campbell days. Those were the days, man. I used to didn't have a care in the world on a Saturday. I knew what was about to go down. So
absolutely.
yeah,
Um, so I'm gonna jump into this first before we get into your business line of things. Obviously the 2022 season. And you might not know this about me and my show, but I give a way early prediction for every season, and I stick with it no matter what happens.
yeah,
This season, about this time last year, I put that we were going to go 9-3 in the regular season, and that we were going to win a bowl game. And I didn't care who our opponent was in the bowl game. I told everyone we were going to end up with 10 wins this season.
Yeah.
Everybody thought I was absolutely crazy. They was like, not going to happen. You've lost it. It's just not going to happen. So when it happened, I only had one game wrong, which means 2 games. But I said that we were going to lose to Louisville and that we were going to beat Wake Forest, and it was vice versa. So that's the only 2 games that I had mixed up. What did you think the Noles were going to be able to do with this season, past season 2022?
I mean, if we're being honest, like I was going to be happy with 8. I didn't see 10. But I love to be proven wrong. And that was kind of the whole idea with my dad and my brother. My dad was saying 7, my brother was saying 7 or 8, and
Right.
We were lucky enough to be at the LSU game to kick off the year. My brother had found some good seats, and we decided we were going to do a father-son road trip from Tallahassee. And man, to be there when that kick got blocked and that place came unglued, and it was really cool because all the LSU fans that were already piling out were coming back in, and so we were at the top of the first section, and so they were all crowding behind us to watch the kick, and to just see the hope drain away when that kick got blocked was something I'll never forget. And to be there with my dad and my brother was a really cool moment to witness that all together. So
Absolutely. So
it was awesome.
So you're a diehard Florida State fan.
Oh yeah, man.
And y'all can, he can vouch for this. I didn't know who he was a fan of before bringing him on here because I just knew that he was helping out our guy Trey Benson. I knew that he had made some really kick-ass product for him, but I wasn't positive he was a Florida State fan or what. So to find out pre-show that he was a Florida State fan absolutely made this a lot easier for me because I don't have to fake like I care about any other team. So it was really cool to find out that he's a Florida State fan. It's awesome to know that, at least you had expectations for the team. But what made you start or gave you the idea to do this as far as your business? What gave you this idea? And this really, did you wake up one morning or you'd been planning it out for a while and then decided to do it?
No, I mean, really when the company I work for in December, they let me know December 3rd. They were like, hey, this is the last month. And I was like, I got less than 30 days. What am I going to do? And so I was like, I know about designing the cards. I know about printing and all that stuff. And I was like, let's just try it with Trey and try to get some steam rolling behind it. And the Trey cards, they've done okay. I was hoping to move more, and I kind of attribute that to the season winding down. But it's a marathon, right? It's not a sprint. And
Absolutely.
So I'm rolling with the punches and trying to make things happen. I'm working on another cool project right now. Can't get into it yet, but it's going to be a cool deal. Tallahassee people will love it, and again, it's directly influencing football players, and I'm excited to be able to get behind them and support them, how we can, and at the same time try to make a name for myself and for my business, and my kids love it. I try to show my kids every day, even when times are bad, the world keeps moving and you got to react. And so
Right.
That's what I'm trying to do with this, man, is I'm trying to just roll with the punches and make a name for myself in the industry, man. That's all you can do.
Absolutely. And it's all about the response. To every action, there's a reaction.
Yep.
So I'm 100% on board with you. We're going to, what I'm doing, obviously, because 1, it helps you. 2, it's going to help Trey. What I'm going to do is I'm going to push the absolute crap out of this card that's available.
Sure.
And I'm going to throw this up here real quick, y'all, so y'all can see a little bit of the process of what he does, how great the quality of the card is. And it doesn't come just like in a regular sheet of plastic or nothing
no.
like that. He's got really just kick-ass cases. Even the unboxing of it is really cool. But I'm going to show y'all a little bit.
This is a name tag. So there's only 3 name tags available, and they spell out Benson. Each one is signed. 6 cards. There's only, like I said, there's only 3 sets of these. That one went out to Australia today, actually, the one that we're looking at right now. So
Awesome.
Yep. But I love doing what I do, man.
Let me look and see. I'll go down a little bit more. But as you can tell, the quality.
Yep.
And look at the boxing. And he's going to send you a
got the little
decal.
Jonzo sticker. Yeah, man. We got. I don't like to cut corners. When I do something, if you're going to do something, you do it to the best of your ability. And so, it's all about the presentation. I want people to, like what they get. I want it to feel like it's worth the money. I want them to feel like that they're getting value for what they're purchasing. And, I take pride in my work, and that's why I go through this stuff. Everything's hand packaged by me. We don't have any type of outside help. It's just me. So that right there, that's an inscription. There were 10 inscriptions total that Trey did. We got 1 left. That's the Benson Trucking inscription. That's on the website right now, still available. But the other one sold really, really fast. So people have really enjoyed them. There it is right there. Yeah, that's the one that's left. So, but, it's
Do you
like
mind,
I said.
do you mind me laying claim on that one if I pay you for it when I get off?
Yeah, that's fine, man. For sure. If you wanna claim it, we can definitely mark it as sold out, and it'll go out tomorrow.
Absolutely. So put me down for it. I definitely want that one.
Okay.
And again, man, I'm at all because again, like I said, I just bought. I don't even know what the name brand of the cards are, but I bought 4 80 packs of Florida State trading cards for the 2015. I think they're. I don't want to say their name wrong, but something like that. Panini.
Yeah.
So I just I bought 4 huge 80 pack boxes of those from a guy off of, I don't even know what the website's called, but I went ahead and picked those up because I do a lot of giveaways.
Yeah.
So as you can tell, the stuff behind me,
Yep.
some of it's pictures, some of it's autographed balls, some of it's autographed mini helmets, but I give stuff away. And what's really cool is with your Trey Benson cards, they're already autographed.
Yep.
So maybe one day we can work something out in bulk where I get a bunch of them,
Sure.
and we do a big giveaway and get the name around it. I don't know if you know Junkman that runs Picked, the vintage Florida State clothing store.
No, I don't.
So he came to our tailgate in Orlando for the LSU game, and we had 2 lots, and we had over 500 people show up. But everybody that was going to that game, you didn't have to purchase a tailgate ticket to buy his clothing.
Right.
We'll just say he did extremely well.
Yeah.
So if you ever get enough inventory, which we're doing another huge, it's going to be even bigger than that one. We're doing another huge tailgate for the Florida State LSU game in Orlando this year. So if you've got, obviously they're football fans. So if you got stuff that ain't Florida State, you probably, like I seen some other cards that you had made.
Yep.
If you want to give a shot, if you could come, we would love to have you. But Picked did a fantastic job. He did really well on it. I am going to shout this out real quick because it's kind of what I promised him. From William, appreciate the $3 donation. I hope Patrick Surtain goes after Singletary. Well, I've told y'all all along that don't be surprised when Singletary is here at Florida State. I've already been telling y'all that it's probably going to happen. LOL, I heard Miami has no shot with Singletary. They say he's not interested in them. It's true, and neither is he interested in Florida, from what I've been told. Florida State is where – okay, so his girlfriend is rumored to be at FAMU, and he wants to be close to home, which is Jacksonville. I don't know a school. Maybe UCF would be closer, but Florida State would be the bigger school to go to, and he's only a couple hours away from home. So I think Singletary is a big possibility to get. We'll see how it works out. But I appreciate the $3 donation. But we're going to talk a little bit about how long does it take you to come up with the design and start pushing those cards out? Are you super picky on what you do? Like you see it and you're like, nope, I want something different.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like there was several different variations of that card where I would go back and forth. Like I'll do a design and then I'm like, all right, I like it, and then I'll just let it sit for a day, and then I'll come back to it fresh, and I'll be like, I'm missing something, or this needs to be different. It definitely, what I put out is a direct reflection of me, so I want to make sure that it's the best, it looks the best on the market, and that people are going to like it, and the people that have seen it are like, I love it, and
Yeah.
they like the box, and we're still working on some of the packaging. I'm trying to do, because like what we did with the first cards is we did like bubble wrap, like we wrapped them up like that, and now I'm looking into having like a styrofoam fitted piece cut so that the card actually just lays down in the styrofoam instead, because presentation is everything, and so I'm always trying to find a different way to be better, and that's what we're looking at now. And like I said, the one that the project I'm working on right now, it's going to be a really cool deal. Really excited about it. Looks good so far, and it's going to be sweet. So
awesome. Well,
yeah,
could you do me a favor? What we might do is for your unveiling, unless you already have something set up.
Not yet.
Your unveiling party for the new project, I can put a whole bunch of hype around it for the show, and we bring you onto the show and you unveil it right here.
Yeah.
And that puts you on TV with WSBN Network.
Sure.
We're on right now, and it also puts you in touch with all of the social media that I have. I want your name. I want everybody that knows about Spear Addicts to know about your brand, know about what products you got.
Sure.
So it'd be really cool if when you're ready to unveil it, come on here. And if one of the guys, which when we get done with this, I'll contact you and I'll find out who it's for, and then I can get him to come on as well, or her, either one.
Okay.
And if y'all want to unveil it that way on here, that would be awesome.
Okay.
No, don't worry about it. Just come on and do it.
Yeah.
And that way, hell, maybe you sell out the first night. That'd be.
We'll have to get a couple of different people in here then.
That's cool.
Yeah. Okay.
That's cool.
I'll reach out to their agent and see if we can get that arranged, because I'm sure they'd like to be a part of it.
All right. Well, I work with everybody. I work with Rising Spear. I work with Battles In. I work with No Off Season. I work with anybody and everybody that does anything for these athletes. So I will help in any way that I can. Io Toafasi is like one of my. He's like a little brother to me. Quayshawn Sapp, that's definitely a little brother to me. Trey, when he first got here, we had to take Trey to some good places to eat because he didn't know Tallahassee very well.
It's funny because the first card that I ever did was Trey.
Yeah.
And I was the one that did his uniform swap from Oregon to FSU for his announcement. So
really,
yeah, kind of weird, just small world,
That's awesome. That's awesome. I did not know that. But I would love, man, for you to use us as much as you need, because I know what you're trying to do, and building a business is not the easiest thing in the world, especially nowadays.
It's not.
But when you've got a bunch of Knowles that will support, and all I want to do is be a support system for that, because eventually I want you to have so much money that you want to advertise with me. That's how it works.
For sure.
So that's what it's all about.
Well, the other thing too is like, I'm reinvesting. Like it's not just
right.
Like it's not just like, oh well, I'm gonna grab this and go. Like I'm already looking for my next one. I'm like, okay, once X amount of cards sell, then I can go and talk to another FSU player.
Right.
And I realize I'm not a major booster level or anything like that, but if I can help these kids out, through the NIL and be a small business trying to make it, it's the best of both worlds because I'm benefiting other people as well. It's not just me, but it is a way to take care of my family and uh, invest into the team that I love and make those connections for future Knowles. So that's what I'm trying to do.
Absolutely. And what we could really do, man, I would love to talk to you offline about some more of this, but we've got a huge connection with all the former Knowles. I mean, when I say you name them.
Yeah.
So if you want to do some throwback stuff
Oh
soon,
yeah. For sure.
um, and obviously the guys that are here now, obviously I'm with you 100%.
Yeah.
They're important. They're most important.
What
And
I
people
what I really
realize,
want to do, like it's interesting you brought that up. What I really been wanting to do is I'm wanting to do a past and present, and
awesome.
I want to do an old school receiver with a new guy. So you got like Peter Ward, and whichever one of the many weapons in the arsenal that you want to pick from this year. And then you've got a dual autograph like Peter Ward and Johnny Wilson. Like you know, imagine having that type of stuff. And I'm trying to do things that you're not going to be able to just buy from any card retailer, like
Right.
because they're that's not something that they're looking at. And if I can create something that FSU fans want, then that's what I'm trying to do. Because like I said, now we're able to invest into other Knowles that are coming in to make an impact on the program.
Absolutely. And that's what it's about. That's why I was really I want I think I've been trying to talk to you for a couple of weeks and we've been, schedules clash, man, stuff
Yep, yep,
happens.
yep.
Um and I'm really, really excited that you were able to come on. Um how about this is a good idea. See, this is what I want. I want fans talking about that. How about a Bowden and Norvell card?
That'd be sweet. It'd be sweet. I mean,
So
there's a ton of different. I mean, you think about all the past greats and the guys that we have now that you could do that type of stuff with. I mean, yeah, the possibilities are endless. I mean,
yep.
there's so many different people that you could incorporate together. And the what I try to do is I try not to like oversaturate the market with different stuff, and I try to keep like print runs low so that when you get something, then you're like, man, it's unique because there's only 75 that, or see, there's only 60 that have the flames. There's only 32 that have the Tennessee Street sign in the background with Stadium Drive. Um, the inscriptions are 10. There you go. Warwick, Snoop, and Hakeem. Like imagine a Hakeem inscription card that says "I'm solid."
Exactly.
I mean, you're talking about instant buys. People are going to be running to grab that type of inscription. Um,
Absolutely.
and that's what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create cool stuff, and at the same time, like I said, we could put back into FSU and keep FSU headed in the right direction, and give these kids something that is different and unique. When Trey came in and saw the cards for the first time, he called his aunt, his FaceTime, and he was like, "I've got my own trading card," and that's a big deal because
It is.
you know not all these kids are going to have a card right out of the gate. And so if we can do that and we can get those kids trading cards and they're like, hey, they're flashing it on their Instagram or their Twitter or whatever, other recruits are watching. They're like, I want that.
Yep.
Look what FSU is doing. Look what these businesses behind the players are doing. They're trying to make sure that they're taken care of. They're investing in them because they care about the program.
Yep.
And so I'm just trying to be a little cog in a big wheel, man. That's what I'm trying to do.
Well, I'm gonna make you as big as I possibly can because I want. If you're doing good, the athletes are doing good. If the
Yep.
athletes are doing good, Florida State's doing good.
Yep.
So we've got quite a few people that are blowing me up, absolutely blowing me up on my phone, asking me if I can get inside information on getting cards printed and stuff like that. But guys, what he's already got out for a man to create the next project, we got to sell the first one. So if
Yep.
there's anything available on his website, or let them
We
know where they
still
can find you.
we still got some available. It's on johnzocreative.com. That's JOHNSO creative.com. When you go there, you'll see a big red button that says shop. All you got to do is click it, go in, you can see what we have left. If it says sold out, it's gone. Um, and then, we still have quite a few of the $55 versions. And then the other ones are like 65 and 75, but that's just because of limited availability.
Yeah.
It's got lower number and things like that. But and that's the other thing is I want to try to keep it to where it's affordable. Like I don't want to, put insane crazy prices on it because, like I said, I want the average FSU fan to be able to go in and get an autograph with their favorite Noel. And it doesn't cost an arm and a leg to do so. Like
Right.
my mom was a single mom. I know how it is for people that they can't, spend a lot of money. But at the same time, we're trying to create something that where they can, if they want, it's available for everybody.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, John. I think you're gonna have quite a few more people paying attention to what you're doing. They're definitely gonna support. I wouldn't be surprised if people are looking now, which would be great. Guys, y'all make sure that you go and check it out. He has a Twitter,
Yep.
and he just told you his website's name. You can go to his website from Twitter.
Yep.
And
if you're on my website, you can scroll all the way to the bottom and you'll see the Twitter button and you can follow the Twitter account there too.
absolutely. So y'all make sure that you give him a follow on Twitter. Make sure that you go check out what he's got for sale on his website. Support the Knowles. Support his business because it's supporting Trey. Who doesn't love Trey Benson? So make sure that you go get one of them before they're all gone because who knows
Then
if
we
you're
can,
going to
then we
make
can
it.
start on the next one.
Yeah, exactly. So I really want everyone to go and make sure that you check this out. This is a really cool idea. And it's awesome that he's got the rights to do so because a lot of people don't. This is very exclusive in my opinion.
It is.
So you can get a piece of Florida State memorabilia before it's even old yet.
Yep.
And then it's going to end up being something that you will hand down to your grandkids, and your grandkids hand it down to their grandkids, in my opinion. So
Well, I'm starting to look into doing too. Another thing that I'm hoping to do by mid-year is starting to do like jersey inserts.
awesome.
So you've got like a jersey insert with an autograph. Like that's
Yep.
something that's on the to-do list. So hopefully, like I said, once we get this first one sold, then we can start looking into the next one.
Absolutely. And I've got my phone is on silent, but I am looking at the screen. The amount of messages that I have about this from everyone
Yeah, man.
is blowing up. So hopefully they go and just buy you out and they support the living hell out of it so we can move on to the next one.
That's it.
But John, I really appreciate you coming on, man. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, if you don't mind, send me your number off of our own to Twitter. That way I can contact you about getting that card. Seriously, I want it.
Yep.
I'll contact you and get it, and then we'll also talk about things in the future as far as what we can work together on and
Sure.
me help you get as much of this out as possible.
Yep.
A great way to get it out. So I appreciate you coming. If you don't mind sticking around and checking out the show once you get off.
Yeah, for sure.
I've got another guest that's going to come on, and we're going to talk a little bit about the future Knowles here, and hopefully you'll be making cards on them.
I'm hoping so, man.
I appreciate you coming on, and good
Thank you
luck.
for having us, man. Appreciate you very
Yeah,
much.
absolutely. Well, everybody, that was Joe Johnson, and with Johnzo cards. Make sure you go check this out, y'all. That is some of the coolest shit ever. I am a huge sports card guy. Love it. I mean, I used to have boxes beyond boxes that I eventually had to start getting rid of. The ones that wasn't worth anything to me, they were all worth something, but they wasn't all Florida State. Obviously, this was baseball, all kinds of stuff. But anyway, I would like here very shortly. We've got Polk coming on. Polk wants to come on and talk a little bit. I'm letting him know that he can come on. So give me 1 second. But I seen Johnzo. I really love Trey Benson. Amazing young man. I was extremely excited for him when I saw his deal with Jonzo. I think that it's absolutely amazing, and fans couldn't ask for anything better. Um, with the NIL thing that's going on, maybe if you buy one of these cars, I can set something up to where you can do a meet and greet. You never know what all this can turn into. So that might be your ticket to get into a tailgate in the future. That might be your ticket to a meet and greet with one of the players that you've got in there. So stuff to that nature. Make sure that you support these businesses because these guys, just like myself, we work tirelessly to make sure that we give you what we can to make you feel special as fans because we think about it nonstop on how to make a better experience for you, Florida State fans. Just like we're a fan, but we're trying to do something with it. Just like I told you, everything that you buy through Sporadics, 20% of that goes into Florida State athletes. So it doesn't matter what you do. If you send donations on YouTube, it doesn't matter what you spend money with me on. 20% of that goes towards the Florida State athletes. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on Polk. We're going to start talking a little bit about Florida State in the future here. Polk, how's it going, man?
Chris, man, how you doing?
I am doing absolutely fantastic. I to be honest with you, completely forgot my show was supposed to be at 7:30 tonight. I was in the middle of doing some media purchase stuff, and then the network hit me up and they were like, "Hey, man, are you going to do your show?" And I was like, "What time is it?" And I looked and had to reschedule it for 8, but it's all good. No harm, no foul.
Yeah.
I watched the show last night. I believe that was last night, right?
Yeah, last night.
Okay. So I was watching the show last night. I listened to the majority of what y'all were talking about, and I chimed in when I could. But tonight's show on my side, we were going to talk about new players, new plays. I was going to talk a little bit about having 2 tight end sets because of bringing in Morlock and bringing in Bell, all these different things that we could do with these guys. I'm not going to get too in depth with because I will completely nerd out on talking about X's and O's. So I need to stay. I just need to keep it simple, but trying to let people know what type of weapons we have coming for the offense, which is also, crazy. And we got to drop the news that what's that kid's name that just went to Colorado that Miami was supposed to get? Was it Cormani? I think it was Cormani.
Ooh, so how a year changes things.
How a year changes things. Isn't it ironic that karma's a bitch?
Ain't it?
Like all of that noise that was talked on us about losing Travis Hunter, and now look who lost their Travis Hunter. I think it's those guys down there at Doak South. They like to play in our South Stadium. But anyways, man, I was going to ask you who you were excited to see, even if it's the 23 class, maybe it's a transfer. What guy are you excited to see playing this year at Florida State?
Can I say something before we start?
Absolutely, say it.
That the guy that you had, sorry if I forgot his name, so I apologize. But I think that trading card thing is really cool. And there's a lot of good ideas and stuff he can do with that. And I would love to support that. I just think that's really cool, man. That's really cool. Like I saw some great ideas with people in the chat. And I started coming off with ideas myself. I was like, man, give me a car with like Peter Ward, Rashard Green, and Von Jarius Jacobs. Like I would love, to support the guys. Just stuff like that I think is really cool. Robert Scott and Walter Jones on a card would be awesome. Like, just stuff like that. So just wanting to say that before we got started. I think that's really cool what he's doing, and it's real dope that you supporting that. And I hope that becomes like a thing.
It's going to become a thing because I'm going to push it as much as I possibly can because I'm, like I said, I'm a nerd when it comes to the cards, and the way he's the quality of what he's doing is what's really cool. Like it's really, really cool. I physically got to see one that a buddy of mine bought, and I'm like, and that's not how I heard about him, but before I buy anything, I like seeing the quality of it. So I seen him with his, and I'm like, oh my God, that's beyond what I thought it was. I got to get one. So I was extremely excited after I seen him, and I'm like, I got to have this guy on. I got to try to help his business out because it's also going to help the Knowles out. So let's kill two birds with one stone, three birds with one stone, because helps me, helps him, helps them. So there we go. But yeah, it's really cool. I'm gonna put his link in the description of this video after the video is over, so everyone knows where to go. But as of right now, everyone, we got Polk on. Polk obviously has his own show at 863 Seminole TV, and that's on YouTube. Make sure that you go check him out. Make sure you subscribe. He gives very real information, the information that everyone knows, but he twists it to where everybody can really personalize with it, really understand why you don't freak out over certain things and the things that you should worry about. For some reason, y'all freak out over kickers. We don't know why. But things like
I get
that.
heat for that, man. I get heat for that.
You get a lot of heat for the kickers.
I get heat for saying and it's not that I don't care about kickers. I know kickers are important. I just not going to lose sleep over them. But I get a lot of heat for that.
Absolutely. I get it. But yeah, the people have been asking me nonstop. Like, they want us to have one big jumbo show of round table where I have you, I have James, I have Taylor, I have Chip, I have any and everybody, Mark Rogers, just anybody that I can get on one show. I try to tell people that's a lot of people to try to navigate to talk on the show, but I might give them what they want in the future. But they've been asking me nonstop, man, like, who am I most excited to see play out of the new guys? Don't pick my favorite player, but pick one out of the new guys. And I know he's already been here, but he hasn't played yet. I'm so excited to see Winston Wright play. That's who I go to every time. So who is it out of the guys that maybe have transferred in that you really want to see play, and why?
That's Winston Wright's a great pick. And I know everybody's extremely excited about Jaheim. So I like to be a little different because I could say Jaheim. And I am excited to see what Jaheim's going to do in this offense. But I kind of like to be a little different. And one of the guys I'm extremely intrigued about, and he's not on the offense, he's on defense, and that's Fisk. I want to see if he's really what I watched at when I watched his tape at Western Michigan, and I mainly watched him against Michigan State, which I think was the best team they played. He was all but unblockable. And I'm just curious. I'm just really excited if he is what I think he is. FSU might have struck gold right there, to where you're talking about a D line with Fisk, Verse, Peyton, and let's not act like Fabo's just chopped salad over there. I mean, Fisk is the guy that I am very excited to see, just to be a little different.
I love that pick, to be completely honest with you. You know, it was really cool that Fisk got to come in. You know, he had that injury on his.
Yeah, I saw him wearing a sling or something.
Got a bicep. I think it's a minor bicep thing, but he's about to be done with that. And he's absolutely going to be a beast at Florida State. I think, like what you just said, I think we did strike gold. Like, I've watched the same film that you're talking about, and he was almost everything that you could imagine in the NFL, really. And I like this pick too from Travis Simmons, I believe is his name. He's picking Morlock at 6'7".
Yeah, that's another great one. Yep.
And that is a big tight end. I definitely agree with you. And I think he's got really, really good hands. I've told people that previous. And that's what I'm glad everybody's talking about, the tight ends. Like Jaheim Bell, everybody's excited about. Morlock, everybody's excited about. We got Biscuit that, in my opinion, don't leave him out, because the young man's going to be something special this year coming up.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're good.
I was just about to say, I thought with the emergence of Biscuit, I didn't think they would take both Morlock and Jaheim Bell. I thought they would take one or the other.
I think we see Jaheim more of a slot guy.
He can move so many different places. It makes sense why you take Jaheim, because he can do way more other things than just be tight end. But the emergence of Biscuit has been very fun to watch.
They're talking about my favorite guy right there. That's my guy. When you talk about Io Toafasi, that's
Yeah, I know,
my buddy.
I know you're really high.
That young man right there is one of the nicest young men you'll ever meet until he's pissed off, and he is a force to be reckoned with. May I tell everyone that is a force to be reckoned with. He is a very stout young man. He will make a name for himself at Florida State, I promise. And that's saying a lot when you can say you promise that he'll be a Florida State great. And I'm telling you right now, this young man is something special. And I don't think anybody's going to forget his name for years to come. I'm extremely excited about him. But let me ask you this, Pope. I've been going back and forth with a bunch of fans that, some people understood it. Some people were really hurt by it. Some people, no one was in the I don't care. But there's a lot of people that were hurt when Trayshawn Ward decided to enter the transfer portal. And I wondered what your thoughts were on Trayshawn Ward leaving. Did you feel like it was, the worst thing that could possibly happen, or did you feel like you understood why he would be in the transfer portal?
I understand why he did it. I still think he could accomplish what he wanted to accomplish at Florida State, but I do understand, maybe wanting to be the featured guy. I get it. I don't feel any type of way about it. Like, I'm not upset. I understand it. Ward was great for us. So there's no obvious, for me, no hard feelings. I tend to never get hard feelings when a guy transfer out, but I'm just saying some people kind of get emotional about it. But shout out to Ward. I hope where did he go? To Kansas State, right? So I hope he kills it over there. I hope he kills it.
I think it's a great fit for him, to be completely honest. I think he's going to do a really good job. But I also agree with what you said. I think he could have accomplished what he wanted to right here. But I understand after talking to some of the people around him and getting a little bit of what he was thinking out of him, I completely understood why he did what he did. So obviously I just want him to go do his thing, get to the league so he can do what he's always dreamed of doing, and that's playing in the NFL. And I think he can accomplish that regardless of where he is. So I'm going to support him wherever he's at. And another one that a lot of people were emotionally invested in that entered the portal was Malik McClain, and I get it, but I really do feel like he was recruited over because of not only the transfer portal guys, but Hakeem coming in was like the camel or the straw that broke the camel's back. I felt like he just didn't feel like he was going to get as much playing time, as many snaps as he wanted. What were your thoughts or possibilities of why you think he left?
So anybody that watches the show knows Malik's my guy.
Yep.
Was very high on Malik McClain. Had a lot of hopes for Malik McClain. With that said, I kind of broke it down when it happened. Like, it's another guy that I think was feeling that heat. And again, I just said he's my guy, but I'm willing to bet Hakeem or maybe someone else can give you the level of production that McClain was giving you. I mean, what did he have? 200 yards receiving and a couple touchdowns or something like that this past year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to bet somebody can replace that production, especially with a Winston Wright being healthy. I think Ja'Kai Douglas needs to get more involved in this offense. I've only been screaming that for a few years now, but I know he was hurt for most of the part last year, so I kind of understand last year. But there's a lot of talented guys, not a lot of one ball. So
yeah.
I expected a guy or two to leave that wide receiver room, so I wasn't totally shocked there. Wasn't totally shocked.
Absolutely. I wasn't shocked at all, to be honest. There's, like I've been telling people, spring we're going to have more attrition, and spring we're also going to bring in more. And I know that a lot of people are preaching this. The portal is not sustainable. We can't make it off of that. We got to start recruiting better, etc. Both things can be true at the same time. The portal could be sustainable, and we should recruit better. Both can be. It can be true at the same time. So Well, I've told people this multiple times, and that's because I'm talking to the guys that are coming in for 2024, and this will be, in my opinion, Coach Norvell's best class that he's ever recruited, not just at Florida State, but ever, because he was at Memphis and you weren't able to recruit even at what he's recruiting now.
Yeah.
So I liked what you said last night, though, and I agreed. Give me a top 15 class and keep doing what you're doing in the portal, and this can be a winning team, no doubt.
Oh yeah.
Are you looking forward to? Are you looking forward to the LSU game? I heard you talking about this last night.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a fun game. Top 10 matchup is going to be all the bells and whistles, right? It's going to be a spectacle. What I was kind of trying to break down last night was it's not the end all be all.
Nope.
In my opinion, some people made some good points. You know how if you beat LSU, maybe you can afford to lose a game during the regular schedule or the conference schedule, and still, But for me, next year is all about one team, and it's not LSU, and it's Clemson.
Yep.
It's time to take the ACC back. That's all I got. It's time to take the ACC back.
I'm with you. I agree. And I dropped that possibility of how you could potentially play Clemson 2 times and 3 times in the year, and it's very unlikely for 3, but it's possible. And people started tripping out on me when I said that, and I'm like, I'm just telling you, it's very possible that if we lose to Clemson in the regular season and then beat them in the ACC championship, it's very possibility that you've got them at 2, us at 3, or vice versa, and we got to play each other again in the playoffs. That would be 3 times in 1 year.
Especially if we're our only losses. It's absolutely possible. It's absolutely possible.
When you get rid of the divisions like the ACC did, and I want people to understand this too, it is about money when it comes to deleting the divisions in this conference. It stops us from having to split so much of the money up into the conference conversation. So Florida State will hold on to more money without there being divisions. So I don't know how much more yet. I don't even think Florida State knows the exact number because we don't know the viewership yet. But Florida State will make more money this way, and Clemson will make more money this way. The schools that you have to feel sorry for, or they just need to get better so they get better viewership, is the Miamis. Like, Miami's not probably going to make as much as they did last year. Even if they get more viewership, it's potential that they won't make as much because they're not doing as much. But, everybody's coming at me, Polk, because I'm the Big Ten guy. I'm the one that's dropping all the research on the Big Ten.
I've been saying the Big Ten might be the best fit forever. It's nothing against the SEC, but I think people underestimate how much money's in the Big Ten.
Yes, they do.
And look at what the Big Ten's doing.
Right.
They arguably have a better thought process or a better model than the SEC. SEC is focusing everything in the South. Get it? SEC, Oklahoma, and Oklahoma, Texas. That's still considered. I know that's like Midwest, but that's still considered South.
Right.
Especially Texas. Big Ten just stretched out to the West Coast with UCLA and USC. They already have the New York market. So they have the 2 hugest markets in the maybe in the world locked up in LA and New York. Why would they not want to dip down into Florida?
Right.
And get the Miami market? That Central Florida, Orlando-esque area. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I think the Big Ten is thinking that. And I think there's a lot of money to be made there. I mean, who wouldn't want to see us, do a home and home with USC or something like that? Like there's a lot of money in the Big Ten. I've been saying that especially when they announced USC and UCLA. I was like, yeah, I think that might be the move.
Yep.
But
completely agree.
People are so stuck in with the SEC because it's that ESPN hype train with the SEC. But
100% every time. What I do want to talk about a little bit, because my show is, because it's on television, I have to end it exactly at 9:00. So we've got about 10 minutes to talk about this segment that I want to bring up. I'm extremely excited for the young man that you brought up just a minute ago for the new players, new plays thing that I was talking about. I'm extremely excited to see how we use what's his name? Um, how we use Hakeem Williams, even though this is his first year to be a true freshman. But I'm extremely excited to see how we line him up and what new plays can come off of him being here at Florida State, because you're going to have so many guys focused on Johnny Wilson and Morlock. If you put those two on the field at the same time, and then you put a Hakeem Williams on there at the same time, and hell, if you're on the other side and you put Bell on the other side, put Douglas on the other side. If those guys are there, I'm really excited to see what Hakeem Williams is going to do in this offense. Is there any plays that you can think Jaheim Bell will be able to pull off, or that we might integrate into our offense that we probably didn't have that guy for last year? Is there any particular plays you think that Jaheim could really help pull off that we have problems with maybe?
So there's one particular play that comes straight to mind when you ask that question. And this is not a knock on the guy that they were running this play for. I love number 4. But the sweep that we used to do with him just didn't click.
Yeah.
It just didn't click. We would try to sweep Micah Pittman at maybe once or twice a game, and it's like he maybe would get 4 or 5 yards at best. And I just don't think he's a natural runner like that. They've used Jaheim Bell, South Carolina did. They use him at running back. And unlike Pittman, the guy's 230. He can run between the tackles, and I think he can. That's the first play that comes to my mind that I think you could use him way more effectively than what we've been having. That's just the first play off my mind.
I'm definitely in agreement with that. And another one that, I was telling people about, because, Mike's RPO system is a little bit different than the traditional RPO. But if you think about this formation where you've got Jaheim Bell on one side, you've got Morlock on this side, and then you got the 2 tight end set. So you bring Jaheim Bell over beside Morlock. And what if you got 2 halfbacks in the back? You've got Trey Benson on this side, and you've got we'll go with Toa Philly. You got each guy's on both sides. You're gonna fake. I mean, you can fake it. It just depends on how the defense responds to this. But you're holding that RPO with Toa Philly, and while Toa Philly's over here, Trey's going out on a wheel route. Jaheim Bell's going out on a quick dig. Then you've got Morlock going out on a hitch, and then you've got what's the other guy that I was thinking about? We got another wide receiver going out for a deep
like a go route.
Yeah, like a go route. And that's fine too. But all of those different options at one time with the RPO play. I think just pull that off because of all the talent you got on the field.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I think just the versatility now that this offense and the different looks and the mismatches are going to be so fun to watch. And and usually don't ask a lot from your freshmen. I'm telling you, man, don't sleep on Hakeem. There's a reason why he was a 5-star. I can't remember the last time Florida State wide receiver was as big and fast as he is. Like you had Malik McClain, who's a big receiver.
Yeah.
Didn't have the speed. You got Kentron Portier, another big receiver, long and lanky anyway. But does he have that speed? I think Hakeem's giving you big, physical, strong, and also maybe can take the top off of defense, right?
Yep.
Don't sleep on that. He could be more effective, especially when teams are going to be focusing on Trey Benson and Johnny Wilson and Jaheim Bell. That leaves one-on-one matchups for a guy like Hakeem Williams. As a freshman, he can eat off of that. He can excel.
Yep. I'm definitely on board with you. I'm excited for the defense as well. It seems like we're going to have more depth at that defensive tackle position with Io being available, bringing in Darrell Jackson from Miami. Fabo will get to potentially stay healthy all year because of having that depth. And then you think about Pat Payton after having he was the defensive player of the year. After him getting another year under Papuchas, and then you've got Jarrett Verse that's coming back. That it's just there's so many to talk about. Derek McClendon, I don't think a lot of people noticed it as much, but Derek was a much better player this year than the year before. Mm-hmm. And I think what he's going to be able to pull off, I think Derek could end up being that dark horse at the defensive end position. Like we know that Jared Verse is going to eat. We know Pat Payton is going to do his thing. We know those names. But I think Derek McClendon is going to end up being that guy that comes up and says, "Hey, there's 3 of us, and I'm going to eat." And then you got
4 of us.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on Edmond. I know he didn't have.
Oh, I agree.
A tremendous amount of stats at South Carolina, but if I can remind you guys of a name who only had 4 sacks when he came to Florida State at South Carolina, and almost doubled that production in 1 year, and that was Keir Thomas. So don't sleep on Edmond. He's 6'5", 250 for a reason. And a lot of Edmond, I saw a crazy stat where that guy played like over 600 snaps last year. Maybe the lack of stats is because he was wore out by the time you're hitting 3rd and 4th quarter. This guy's played way too many snaps. He's not going to have that problem this year. Edmond should be fresh when he's in the game. And like you said, the defensive tackle room, man, the entire defensive line has just a bunch of depth because we ain't even got to the Joshua Farmers of the world, the Daniel Lyons, your guy Tafasi. It's,
I agree with Rock Frazier too. I think that you could see a surprise out of
Woody's my guy.
I believe that 100%.
I was so happy when they moved him to D tackle. I was so happy.
And what we're going to do, Polk, if you can stay on longer, what I'm going to do is during the show, it's going to sound like I'm ending the show. And then it'll keep going on YouTube, but it'll end over there at the television station. Gotcha. So we'll say like our bit about Golden Knolls and all that at the end here, but I'll do that at the right time, and then we'll continue the show on for at least 15 to 20 more minutes so we can get some more talk out because it seems like more people are coming in now because my show was late, so I get it. I want to do my due diligence for the fans because it was my fault that we were late. So I talked about jersey numbers being changed. DJ Lundy, is going to wear Derek Brooks' number. And I seen a tweet or a gentleman said that I better not see him miss a tackle wearing that number. I think that's absolutely hilarious, and it's also true at the same time. And Pat Payton's going to be wearing 11. Jermaine Johnson was only here a year, but he made that 11 stand out. So Pat Payton's got to be on his A game. Like a lot of these guys are getting good numbers. Hakeem getting number 8. That's cool to me for a wide receiver to wear 8. We ain't had a great 8 since Devontae Freeman, in my opinion, on offense. So
I'm trying to think of the last guy that wore 10. I can't quite remember.
I don't want to say he's the last one, but Hayes wore it, right? Do you know Hayes?
He wore it, but was he the last linebacker to wear 10? I don't remember the last linebacker to wear 10.
Did Buster Davis?
No, Buster Davis was 7. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So I don't either. I don't.
That's cool for DJ. I don't have a problem with it. Like Twitter's the place where you're gonna go see a bunch of crazy tweets, right?
Oh yeah.
I don't have a problem with it at all. I'm even one of the people that I think they should unretire too, not because I got a problem with Dion. I don't. I just think it should be something that a kid gets to work for. Like when you should reward your best DB, number 2. Like that's just my. I think you could. Nick Moody did wear 10. Good shout out to the Renegade. Nick Moody absolutely did wear 10, and he might have been the last guy to wear 10. I can't think of a guy past that wore it. But I think you should use these numbers to reward players is what I was trying to say.
I'm going to drop this piece real quick. Everyone, I appreciate you coming on to the television show and checking us out. Make sure that you go and give my guy Polk a follow and subscribe to his YouTube channel at 863 Seminoles TV. With that, everyone, I hope you have a good rest of your evening. If you want to continue to watch the show, find us at Spear Addicts on YouTube. And y'all have a good